ITV in London and the South East. This is Carlton. It's 10 o'clock.
From ITN, News at 10 with Trevor McDonald.
Devastation after the worst avalanches for 90 years. Single mothers spared in welfare shake-up. New blow for families in the Bristol heart round. The moment a helicopter plunged to tragedy. And why Britain's homes are ranked the smelliest in Europe. Good evening. Rescue workers are still searching tonight for people lost under the snow after the avalanches near Chamonix in the French Alps. 10 people, all French, are now confirmed dead. There's little hope for 2 others, a man and a woman. The avalanches were the most destructive in the area for more than 90 years. They came roaring down at more than 60 miles an hour, reducing chalets to matchwood. Our Europe correspondent Bill Neely reports from Chamonix.
In one of Europe's most beautiful valleys, one of the century's most powerful avalanches swept 3,000 feet down this mountain and engulfed the village below. It was one of Europe's most popular resorts. Today, it is devastated. These heaps of shattered wood and rubble were once chalets, each with a dozen or more rooms. Only the foundations of some are left, bedding and clothing strewn everywhere. The rescue work goes on. 20 people have been pulled out of this alive, including at least 8 children. Among the rescuers, many British residents who've seen nothing like this.
Probably the worst thing as a rescue is going through the wreckage of people's homes, just, just personal possessions just destroyed, strewn everywhere. It's a terrible scene.
The avalanche was a block of snow 600 feet across and 100 feet deep, hurtling down at 60 miles an hour. Ahead of it, a gale that stripped trees and weakened the buildings before the snow hit. People had little chance.
We know that 10 people are dead and 2 people are injured very badly. 4
children died. 1 young boy, trapped for hours, was rescued. He'd been under the snow but in an air pocket. Among the rescuers, some British tourists.
It's terrible, wasn't it, up there?
Yeah.
Really horrible. He was on top of chalets at 30 foot high, covered in snow.
Yeah, just people probing. Everyone just stood back. When they thought they found something, everyone pitched in and dug them, tried digging them out.
4 days of continuous and heavy snow had made this area ripe for an avalanche, and it is ripe still. So helicopters are working to free dangerous blocks of loose snow with propellers and with explosive devices. Suspended from helicopters, the rescuers carry whatever digging equipment they can into an area that's almost impossible to reach by road. They are using sniffer dogs, touch and heat-seeking equipment to find victims in temperatures that tonight are approaching minus 20 degrees centigrade. Apart from these villages, tour companies are advising British holidaymakers that it is safe to come to the Alps. The search for the living and the dead will continue here through the night, amid the worst snow anyone in this area has seen, amid the constant and very real danger of further avalanches. Bill Neely, News at 10, Avalanche in the French Alps.
Later in the programme we'll have a special report on what causes avalanches and what can be done to minimise the danger. The Social Security Secretary Alistair Darling insisted tonight that there was no question of lone parents being forced to leave their children and go out to work. Under his welfare reform bill, published this afternoon, however, people will lose benefits if they don't turn up for regular interviews about job prospects. Here's our political editor, Michael Brunson.
Once again, the government wants to change a whole culture to end what it calls the something-for-nothing approach to welfare, whereby people simply make their initial claim and then sit back and take the money without any further contact or effort on their part, often for considerable periods. Under the new system set out as the Social Security Secretary toured a job centre, the government is determined that people should always be given every encouragement to come off benefit into work. So, under the new welfare reform bill, all benefit claimants, with a few exceptions, will have to attend an initial interview to consider their their job options. There'll be repeat interviews at other times, details to follow, and if claimants don't turn up for their interviews, they risk losing benefit payments. Those interviews will apply to everyone, to young single mothers, for example, who claim benefit and will now face follow-up interviews about possible jobs when their children reach primary or secondary school age.
The commitment and having to get there and go there, and then the threat, if you don't turn up, what's going to happen, what if the benefits stop, or what they're going to think. So it's the threat and the commitment and finding that time to go there.
It is a lot of pressure because I think we need to do it in our own time, then we're doing it for the right reasons. If I was to go back to work, be pressured into going back to work or to the interviews for the wrong reasons, I wouldn't be getting anything out of it.
So will mothers be forced out to work against their will?
We've always made it clear that in the case of lone parents and people who are disabled for different reasons, it would be quite wrong to force them to go into work. But what they do want is to know what choices are open to them.
But many different groups representing all kinds of people, not just lone parents, but families on low income, the mentally ill and the disabled, are deeply concerned about all this, as are many left-wing Labour MPs. The government is going to have to mount a much bigger campaign of education and reassurance if all this is to work smoothly. Michael Runson, News at 10, Downing Street.
There's more agony today for parents who lost sons and daughters in the notorious series of botched operations at Bristol Royal Infirmary. It was disclosed that the hospital, without the knowledge or consent of parents, had kept many of the children's hearts and other organs. The hospital said it regretted the distress it had caused. IDN's Terry Lloyd reports.
9 months ago, 2 surgeons from the Bristol Royal Infirmary were struck off following complaints that operations on children had gone badly wrong. Many died, others have been left brain damaged. Bereaved parents today revealed that the hearts of maybe 170 children had been kept by the hospital without the parents knowing.
The hearts had been retained after the baby or child had undergone a post-mortem examination without the parents' knowledge or express consent. It was known that the hearts had been retained without knowledge or consent in isolated cases, but the Trust had not made us aware until now that the hearts had been retained systematically.
The United Bristol Healthcare Trust claimed the organs were kept for further examination, education or even audit purposes. A statement read, "Consent was not as informed as modern standards require. We acknowledge there will be distress and we regret that." For Malcolm Curnow, whose daughter Verity died at the hospital, the distress was obvious.
I think the only word one can use is absolutely devastated. To find that you have buried your child following an operation which is a traumatic experience at the best of times, to now find that we may have buried our children incomplete and have to face the fact of reliving a burial or a funeral service in relation to the items which have been retained is an absolutely appalling thing to come to terms with.
The guidelines are complex, but at present organs may be removed and kept to establish the cause of death without the consent of relatives. The issue now is what happens to the organs next. Terry Lloyd, News at 10.
Cases like the Bristol heart surgery scandal and the subsequent striking off of 2 surgeons will now mean new checks on all doctors and surgeons in the future. The General Medical Council voted overwhelmingly today for tests about every 5 years to make sure their skills and knowledge are up to date. Andrea Cathell.